Hello, beautiful. I'm Julie Norman with Body Karma Healing. Change your body image, change the world. And if you're tuning into this video, you are probably journeying through my Foundations e-course for peace, peaceful body image, eating and exercise in alignment, and creative expression. This is module 6 of 8, and it takes us on a exploration and some clearing and balancing practices for the throat chakra, Vasuddha, which is the 5th main energy center of our subtle body, of the aspect of ourselves that is unlimited by the physical self and the mind. And really where our power lies in manifesting health, vitality, joy, and the lives we really want to be living. So you can go back through my first 5 modules to really get a deeper understanding of what I'm talking about. But let's dive right in with an education and some practice around the throat chakra and some other yogic principles. We are journeying through the 8 limbs of yoga, doing poses, looking at the yamas and niyamas, the ethical moral guidelines of the yoga philosophy that give us instructions on how to live in peace and live really in the highest vibration. So we start each session, each one of these videos that go along with the modules by doing our body karma healing centering. And then throughout the practice, I'll educate more about this energy center. For our centering, our clearing today, I have a beautiful turquoise blue, deep turquoise blue candle with a butterfly on it that says transformation. And I thought that was perfect because as we're moving up the chakra system, following the path of liberation, so that we then can feel reconnected and be supported by Source, and remember our awesomeness and live from that. The throat chakra really is the point where we start to transform things, shifting into that higher vibration and really being able to create, but we have to express ourselves and be grounded in our truth and courageous and listening to our hearts to be able to do those things. The candle is surrounded today by several conch shells from the sea, and with a spiral construction that really help us remember that this is a non-linear process, life itself, and especially our healing and creating the lives we really know we're here to live. And there's a story about the sound of Om, which even if you know a little bit about yoga, you know that the sound of Om is part of the tradition and the practices. So the sound of Om has to do with the ocean, so we'll get to that. Right now, let's light our candle. If you don't have one, just let my practice help you symbolize what this ritual is about. But just coming into that gentle seated posture and taking a few moments of silence and stillness. Feeling into Dirga breath, our most fundamental breath practice in yoga. Just drawing in some nice deep inspirations and exhaling fully, completely. Let's do that a few more times. Breathe in. Breathe out. On your own for 3 or 4 respirations. And go ahead, pick up your matches. And repeat after me or with me if you know the mantra, the Atman affirmation. Lighting your candle as we do this. I am Atman, spark of the divine. If you have your sage with you, pick it up, light it just a bit in your candle, and smudge. We call this smudging, which helps clear and balance the energy body, quote unquote negative energy. I do the figure 8, symbolizing karma, interconnectedness, symbolizing the feminine body, the 8 limbs of yoga, and really our true nature of essence, eternity, the sage symbolizing the breath. There's a chant, and I'd like you to do it with me today, since we are in the throat chakra and working with sound and expression, moving through the ego, down in the solar plexus, and repeating after me. Satanam, Satanam, Satanam Ji. Waheguru, Waheguru, Waheguru Ji. And let's do that 3 times together. Placing the sage down. Satanam, Satanam, Satanam Ji. Waheguru, Waheguru, Waheguru Ji. Satanam, Satanam, Satanam Ji. Waheguru, Waheguru, Waheguru Ji. Satanam, Satanam, Satanam Ji. Waheguru, Waheguru, Waheguru Ji. The mantra's in your practice guide. It means I am truth. My name is truth. I am God, dare I say, that we are divine embodiments of love, of joy, of infinite wisdom. Chanting the sound of Om to ground into that truth. Honor yourselves and each other. And empowering our intentions for healing and peace that we have been working on throughout this whole course. Big breath in. Adi Om, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We are peace, peace, peace. If you've been to any of my classes or workshops or retreats, you know that I chant the sound of Om at the beginning and end of every practice, because I believe this is so important. Om is the sound of all creation in the yoga philosophy, and I love the story, the creation story of the sound of Om. Shakti, remember Shiva and Shakti from 2nd and 3rd energy centers, the divine masculine and the divine feminine? Through Hindu tradition, there are these stories of the god Shiva and the goddess Shakti, and lots of other expressions of them. So the story of how the sound of Om came to be and how the world actually came to be was that Shakti was grieving. Remember grief down in the heart chakra? She was grieving Shiva, who was away at war, fighting for what was right in the world. And her grief just started to totally become more and more embodied, and she cried so many tears that the seas were created. And she, from sitting with her feelings, allowing her grief to move up from the lower chakras and be expressed, her heart to be expressed through the throat, through her tears, her wailing, her crying, really embodying her emotion. She sat with it, and the tears filled around her, the sea created around her, and the sound of Om is said to be the sound of Shakti mourning on the seafloor. So this may be really deep and kind of out there and hard for our minds to conceptualize, but it's the metaphor. The myth gives us an understanding of how important our humanity is and how important it is to express ourselves in truth, because in that truth, in allowing our truth, we create life. This is such a powerful principle. And with sound in the throat chakra comes resonance. You can feel Om when you chant it. You can feel the truth when you state your affirmations. You can also feel your fear. You can also feel what runs up into it and creates tension. But if you simply notice that tension and allow the vibration, eventually that breaks it down. That resonance moves things apart. I have the singing bowl here, and again, just like chanting Om, the sound doesn't end after I'm done striking the bowl. The words we speak, they have effect way beyond the moment the word is spoken. And you can feel when you hear deep truth. As I started to tell that Shakti creation story, I felt a deep surge of energy down into my lower body. And that tells me, this is truth, and share that truth. It gives me groundedness so I can pass this wisdom along. It's not mine, remember? We are conduits of the divine. It's just moving through us. So we don't have to be afraid to speak our truth. When we know it, we can say it. The fear will come up, but stand tall, use your practices, use your breath, and the courage in your heart and in your soul to speak up for yourself anyways, to say yes to what you want, to share what your dreams are. Use your voice also, and speak your truth also, to end and stop what is not in alignment with your truth. Be honest with yourself when you're going beyond your capabilities or your time and your energy resources. Say no, set boundaries, reaffirm boundaries. Speak up, but the throat chakra is also about listening to ourselves, our hearts, being in silence. That's why meditation is so important. And listening to others, hearing what they're actually saying, what they're actually expressing, not what we want to hear. And also not hearing what they're saying through our filter of our pain. If we're not expressing ourselves, then there is distortion not only in how we see ourselves, how we feel in our bodies and in our lives, but there's also distortion in how we see the rest of the world and what we hear. Someone may be telling us we're wonderful and we hear criticism. Our shame gets triggered. Again, that's lower vibration stuff. We've really got to draw things up and express. That's what the fat practice is all about. We name Satnam. We name what we are feeling. In setting our empowered intentions, we name our desires. So this is a high level of functioning. We live in a world of superficiality for the most part still. And we need to speak up so we can dissolve the illusion and return to love. Okay, go ahead and start moving around a little bit. I got a little more speaking to do. The throat chakra by far is probably my strongest, but also maybe my weakness. Energy center, weakest energy center. I'm an orator. I talk, I love to sing, I love to dance. I'm a Gemini, and I hear Geminis are pretty expressive. And that's not always a challenge. It's a challenge for me. I have to make sure that expression is about me living my bliss and being in alignment rather than being ego-based. I have to practice silence a lot, which I used to hate, and now I've come to really love and carve out time and space for myself to be silent and restore the throat chakra. So, as you can see, the color turquoise is our color for the throat chakra, very bright, very expressive color. The name of this module is Expressing for Exaltation. Exaltation meaning joy, a feeling, a state of complete bliss. And expressing, remember we've grounded, we're flowing, we're creating, we are loving, and here we are expressing in the throat chakra. We have to express to know that highest joy. So these belly rolls that we do almost every session, get the spine warmed up, get it moving in all 6 directions, get us rooted down into the earth. Go ahead, come into stillness down in the belly, but we're going to go right into some other types of rolling movement. The first asana, first posture in this module for expressing is our neck rolls. So lift tall, your basic seated posture, but with the chin dropping towards the chest, and just let the back of your neck open. Take a few steady breaths there. Maybe you can hear my breath. I'm actually shifting into one of the pranayama practices I'm sharing today, Ujjayi breath, which means ocean breath or victorious breath. And how you practice it is you constrict the back of the throat just slightly and make kind of a Darth Vader sound. And I found if I tuck my chin to the chest, I get a sense of that easier. Keep practicing that Ujjayi breath as you roll your head over to one side, lifting your chin, finding a nice stretch down the opposite side of the neck. Drop that opposite shoulder away towards the earth. Roll the chin through center. Come to the other side. And just go back and forth here, practicing a little Ujjayi breath. And rolling the neck. So, do you notice sensation here? Do you notice tightness, holding, resistance? The throat chakra relates physically to, obviously, the throat. The neck, which is the top of the spine, the cervical spine. And also the jaw and into the ears. Because it's, again, about expressing, speaking up, but it's also about silence and listening. Now, if your cervical spine is healthy, you don't have any disc problems in your neck, and if you're not sure, play it safe. You can take your neck rolls all the way around. If you do so, keep your chin really lifting instead of dropping your head completely back. Just to open that throat space a little bit more. And we send the head back. And we practice back bends, heart openers. And want to keep that same alignment in mind. So make sure here that you're soft through your jaw. Your teeth don't touch. They're floating apart a bit, and the tongue rests gently in the base of the mouth. And really, that's the structure you want to have. Through all asana and even through life, we clench our jaw and our teeth. And as one way, we try to stop the energy of our truth flowing up and being expressed. If you want to be free of negative body image, of diet drama, and all kinds of other drama in your life, you're going to need to express yourself. I'm laughing. Go ahead and stop with your neck rolls there. Beautiful. We're going to shift down into integration pose from the first module to set up for our next throat chakra pose, bridge. So roll on down. So I'm giggling because the bija mantra for the throat chakra is ha. So, or ham. And that sound ha we're going to use in another one of our pranayamas, but think about ha, 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 laughter. And while we're constantly working on expressing our emotions, all of them, and especially our pain, because that's what's underneath fear, anxiety, tension, but our joy, we also can be afraid to express our joy. And joy and grief are closely related, so you can laugh until you cry, you can cry until you laugh. And that's because things are full circle. Things are a cycle, the divine feminine. And to deny that is to create suffering. I'm going to scoot my altar out here. And continue working with that ujjayi breath. So try it here lying flat on your back in integration pose with the knees bent, feet to the earth, grounding down. We always come back through those foundational poses and practices. Tuck the chin towards the chest just slightly so the back of the neck is really lengthening. Let the earth hold you. Surrender to the mother. And again here, constricting the back of the throat a little bit. One way to get that feeling is to go like you're fogging a mirror. It's that feeling, that action, but with your mouth closed. Breathing in and out through your nose. This is ujjayi breath. So let's warm the spine a little. If you have any experience with yoga, you've probably seen this posture, bridge pose. We literally make a bridge with our body. Pressing the feet and hands into the earth, feet hip distance apart, toes forward, hands right next to the hips. You inhale, lift the pelvis up, engage the back body. The heart moves towards your chin. Notice my voice is not changing. We want to avoid compressing the throat at all. You should be able to continue that nice gentle breath. Let's flow a little bit though. Exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling down. Nice steady ujjayi breath. Inhale up, exhale down. Feel the range of motion in the spine. All those principles of the chakras in action, really in every pose. Grounding into the feet and hands, flowing through the pelvis and spine, creating some heat. Memorize breathing. Now this time, you're going to lift and you're going to hold the pose. Hold the pose, but never the breath. Press the feet down. Make sure the knees stay in line with the hips. Often they want to splay out or they come in. You can put a block there for guidance, but press the hands into the earth and try wiggling your shoulders down away from your ears a bit more. Fingertips a little closer to the heels. Eventually some folks can even grab their heels, but you don't need to. You can grab the edges of the mat for a little more grounding. Wiggle the shoulder blades together and press the belly button up a little higher. At no point should you constrict the throat to where you got that weird voice. No weird voice. And a lengthening. We're really lengthening the back of the neck here. And if it's available to you, enough shoulder opening, you can bring the hands together under your booty. Roll the shoulders under even more and press into the earth. With the arms, as you reach the feet up more, this is a big expression of bridge pose. But notice here how my heart is really open, really rooted. I'll keep practicing that lovely Ujjayi breath, clearing, balancing, empowering the Suddha chakra. Hold as long as it's comfortable. Feel your strength. We talk about the chakra system being the rainbow bridge between the physical realm and the spirit realm. Slowly lower down. Feel your back body return to the earth. Relax the shoulders. Shoulder blades come apart. Bring your hands to your thighs or your low belly. And again, just breathe. Come back to a natural breath or dirga breath. Relaxing the throat. That's how comforting that silence can be. Beautiful. There is a supported and restorative version of this pose. Simply that supported bridge. You can bring a block or a folded blanket in under the pelvis. You can build this up much taller than I have it here. And just let yourself rest, especially if you struggle with low back issues or lower digestive tract things, as well as stuff with the throat chakra, talking too much, being too quiet and not speaking up for yourself, lying. The imbalance of the throat chakra is lies. But we tell lies, we hurt ourselves and we hurt others when we are forgetting Atman temporarily, when we're in the fat experience, when we have forgotten our true nature of divineness, and when we are letting our pain, our fear run our lives. It's not because we're bad people. I don't believe in original sin. I don't believe that we come here broken. I believe we come here whole and we have experiences that cause us to forget, and this is what we're healing through the path of yoga. So here's your supported bridge. And this is one you can stay in for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I do it quite often, at least a few times a week for myself as a restorative pose. The next pose we're going to do is much more active. This is plow pose. And if you have any neck injuries, any back injuries, I don't recommend it. Bridge is a nice, safe one, especially just supported bridge. Always, if you're not working with me privately and you don't have a yoga community, find a teacher. Find a well-experienced teacher and go to the basic classes. Get some private sessions. It is one of the best things you can give yourself. So if you do have more of an intermediate practice, some yoga experience under your belt, You can try plow pose with me. So I'm here in integration. I'm just going to kind of wiggle down. You'll notice I have a chair in the shot today behind me. We're going to use that chair because we can do just what we call supported plow to make it a little gentler version to start with. So come onto your toes, put your arms down at your side again. You bring your knees up to your chest, and you have to get a little momentum here. So we have to connect to the core and kind of lift yourself up and over. Again, this is stuff we did as kids all the time, right? Just let ourselves play and experience things. Toes can come to the chair. And make sure I'm not flashing you as my fancy yoga pants fall down. Same actions in the upper body as you did in bridge. Roll the shoulders under. Chin tuck slightly to the chest. But again, no restriction here, no pressure on the throat. You can clasp the hands and press the arms down, or you can bring the hands to your lower back. Notice I'm flexing out through the feet, really straightening the legs. And I'm going to tilt the pelvis a bit. Try to align the hips over the shoulders. So this is an inversion. Say hello to your belly. Hi belly, I love you. And it's okay if there's a lot of belly there. Who says what's right or wrong? Where does that idea come from? And that's probably not your truth. If this is an inversion, so it's getting the heart over the head. We're really opening that heart space. Strengthening and opening the back of the neck. The weight should be on the shoulders and the upper arms, not at all on the head and neck. You have upper back stuff, really tight muscles. This is great. And the most valuable aspect of this pose is how it stimulates the thyroid gland. And the thyroid gland is in the throat and has to do with overall metabolism. So go ahead and come on down. This is not a pose you want to hold very long unless you prop it up. I'm going to show you that option. So take your time. Release. Knees hug into the chest. And I'll show you the pose propped without the chair. You can do it propped with the chair and stay in it for 3 minutes, 5 minutes. It can be a fabulous restorative type pose. So unfold the blanket a bit. I'm going to lay it here so that as I come up onto my shoulders, my head will be on the ground, but the upper back space will be supported by the blanket. So you put yourself about here a few inches. The blanket right under the neck, because as you come up and over, you're going to shift, you're going to move. So again, the first few times you do this, if you haven't done it with a teacher and instructed one-on-one in a class, don't do it on your own. But if it's in your practice a little bit already, you can do it here. Always err on the edge of safety and being more conservative. The same thing, you just flip yourself up and over. Toes can come to the ground. It takes a lot of hamstring flexibility. Finding plow pose here. Nice ujjayi breath. Again, the voice should be normal when you're in the pose. Hands could also come to the low back. Engage the legs. Press out through the toes. Good, just spending a few breaths here, get the idea. Your time to come out, bending the knees. Ended up under the chair. Roll down nice and slow. And a nice release. Oh, how's that Apanasana? Need a chest pose. Beautiful. Right, you can roll yourself right up or press on to one side. We have one more practice for throat chakra that I want to take you through. We're going to stand up to do it. It is called Breath of Joy. Oh, actually, I'm forgetting one. Lion's breath. Before we do Breath of Joy, come on onto your knees. And we usually do that Virasana pose where the feet aren't crossed. But for this, you're going to cross at your ankles and sit back like so in a kneeling pose. I'm going to face you, though, for it. So cross one ankle over the other. Sit back kneeling. And if this doesn't work for you, you can try it seated. And you can prop yourself up a bit on a blanket. So bring your hands to the front of your thighs. Since we're here in the throat chakra, we're really going to work on expressing. We chanted our Om, we chanted our Satanam mantra together. This practice, what is it that keeps us from expressing ourselves? It's our ego. We're worried about what people are going to think, if we're going to lose love and approval, if we're going to look silly, if we're going to look stupid. You got to let that go to be able to manifest. Your breath is the ticket. Hands to the top of the thighs. You're going to lean forward a little bit, lift your heart, and you're going to make a ridiculous face. First of all, you're going to cross your eyes and look up to your third eye as you breathe in. And on the exhale, keeping that dristi, that eye focus, you're going to stick your tongue out and make that ha sound. Like you're roaring, you're going to be kind of roaring here like a lion. Lion's breath, Simhasana. So let's do it 3 times together. On this side, plant the hands, breathe in, look up, cross your eyes. Again. Is it fun? Good, cross your ankles. Do 3 times right on the other side. Look silly, look ridiculous, laugh. That icky, awkward feeling that comes up, that judgment that comes up, that's your ego. Do this anyways to free yourself from it. Ready? Let me see your lion heart. Thank you for practicing with me thus far. Go ahead, take your time to stand up. We're going to finish with Breath of Joy. All right, my friends, we are finishing up Module 6 video guide, and we're ending with one of my all-time favorite pranayama practices, Breath of Joy. It's an active combination of breath work and asana, movements, posture, abates depression, lifts your energy, helps you express not only your fears and your griefs, but your joy. Really shifts the vibration from those lower energy centers up into the higher consciousness. So, take mountain pose with your feet hip distance apart. Really ground down. You're going to keep a nice fluid lower body here. Really make sure when you bend forward, which you don't have to do, but you can do that in the movement, that you break at the hips and come down. You can also just stay tall and do the arm movements. So, traditionally we do 9 rounds of this, and then hang in a forward fold. The movement looks like this. Sweep the arms up, out, and up again. Okay, so up, whoops, up, out, and up again. And then sweep the arms down and kind of roll the body. From the side, it looks like this. Okay? Here's where it gets really fun, adding in the breath. So there's a practice called Ha breaths that you can do lots of different ways. Remember, Ham is the seed mantra sound for the throat chakra, and Ha is what laughter sounds like, right? Hence breath of joy. You're going to really voice here. You're going to get beyond your ego fears, go out on that limb, and do this as loudly as you can. So you're letting go of whatever stands in your way of joy. The inhalations are 3 short breaths in, and the exhalation is that big ha. So it looks like this. Kind of like breath of fire, but you fill up the in-breath incrementally and fully. So it's a sniffing, fill up a third of the way, then another third, and then the last third, and then ha. So matching it to movement looks like this. Ha. Got the idea? Let's do this together. Express yourself to know joy. My clothes are going to be a mess, but who cares? Ready? Together. Ha. 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 3 more. Ha. Ha. Last one. Ha. And just hang. Take your time. Back to that Dirga breath. Nice, complete, easy breaths. Roll up the spine nice and slow. Rooting into Mother Earth. Rising into your power, your fullest potential. Remembering that you are the embodiment of love. Thank you always for being here, not just watching this video, but being here on this earth. It's a brave, difficult thing. Whatever your journey may be, I wish you peace. Namaste.